Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Look, I am not going to take up a lot of your time on this Monday, but I do want to drop in and encourage you, hopefully inspire you, and empower you to be functioning optimally, to be at the height of your design at any particular point in time in life, to be in the mode of consistent growth. It is so important that we really truly understand the magnitude of our potential. Far too many people leave this world having, I mean, not even scrape the surface of what they're capable of because they buy into the myth of comfort, the myth of ease, seeking paths of least resistance, and never truly taking on the challenge of being their best self in order to make an impact on the world. Life is so much bigger than you. But even when you narrow it down to the least common denominator, which is you, then you have to see the value of yourself. You must see inside of who you are and discover that you are worth so much more than you're giving yourself. Let me say that again. You are worth so much more than you are giving yourself. Normally, when people start talking about know your worth, know your value, you are worthy, know your worth and all of that, they're normally talking about how other people treat you, what are you getting out of other situations. They're looking at exogenous influences, in other words, external things that are impacting your life, and they tell you you're worth more, you're worth more. But what few people ever take time to tell you, maybe because they don't know, maybe because they don't want to upset you, maybe because they don't themselves understand how. But the bottom line is when you start talking about worth and value, it starts with yourself, not what someone else gives you, but what you're giving yourself. If you want other people to recognize your value, if you want other people to recognize your worth, it begins with you recognizing the value and the worth in yourself. And how does that look? That looks like you taking care of yourself. That looks like you living life at the highest possible level. That looks like you standing up and becoming something that you are designed to be. It looks like you really and truly are embracing the magnitude of who you are in this world, and you are treating yourself accordingly. And when you start to treat yourself accordingly, everyone and everything around you starts to move in accordance and alignment with the way you're treating yourself. Before you can expect someone else to see your value, you must see it. Before you expect someone else to treat you with an exceptional level of respect, love, adoration, and gratitude, you must first be grateful and have a level of gratitude around your awesome ability and capacity and potential assigned to your purpose. You can't ever get to where you're going without seeing the value in yourself, not because you want to demand that someone else treats you a certain way, but because you have a responsibility to treat yourself a certain way, to treat yourself to the best possible life that you can have. You should be living in an adventurous life, an explorative life, a life that goes out and sees and becomes and investigates the possibilities of what life has to offer, always looking for the next thing, always looking to become something better and greater, because you're not only influencing your life. Remember, I said earlier on that it's bigger than you. It's not just about you, but it starts with you. When you break it down to the least common denominator, it's about you seeing your value. When you see your value, you start to realize that you have the capacity to impact other people's lives, not just your own. It removes the selfishness out of the equation. It doesn't mean that you stop caring about yourself. It means that you see beyond yourself. And that's immensely important. We've got to get out of that. You deserve so much more than what you've been giving yourself. Then I want to tell you, you've got to, I mentioned purpose. You got to understand purpose. I've often said that when you discover your purpose, it will explain your pain. And people say, what do you mean by that? Everybody goes through things. Nobody escapes life without going through some things. And most of the time, most of the times, a lot of the things we deal with don't make sense. We're trying to understand why. We have this question, this ongoing question about life, and it's why. What did I do wrong? Why? Why is it always me? Why? But when you discover your purpose, you start to go, whoa, I had to go through that. I had to experience that. I had to endure that. It prepared me for this very moment. It was preparing me for my purpose. It wasn't an empty experience after all. It makes sense now. When you discover your purpose, it ignites your passion. Why are what gets you out of the bed in the morning? What gets you out of the bed in the morning? If you got to drag yourself out of bed every day to go do something that you do every day, then it's a good chance that you haven't discovered your purpose. It's a good chance that you're working in a situation or working in a place in an environment that does not serve your purpose, that does not allow you to express and execute your purpose. And you are literally having an internal conflict because you're operating outside the parameters of your purpose, but you're doing it because you feel you have to. And you're not realizing that when you move in your purpose, it becomes provision. And your provision provides all that you need and above. There's abundance in purpose. You've got to understand this. A lot of people are chasing things that should be pursuing them. Let me say that again. A lot of people are chasing things that should be pursuing them. Let that sink in. We get in this rat race. We get in this chase, this paper chase, this chasing the bag, chasing this lifestyle, chasing what everyone else has, what everyone else says is successful. And yet we never ever truly experience fulfillment, happiness, joy. Why? Because it was outside the parameters. You have to get in a situation where you're living in your purpose and you're serving your purpose and you're having an impact on the world. When you begin having an impact on the world, you don't have to chase the bag. The bag starts to chase you. When you have an impact on the world, you don't have to go looking for fulfillment in the wrong places. Fulfillment will simply become a reality of you living in your purpose. You've got to understand this is so important. Now, here's another misunderstanding or a misconception is that you can simply wish for something and it'll happen. You can simply hope, or you can take the path of least resistance and get to the places that have the most magnificent and phenomenal impact on your life. The truth is that's a lie. You are going to have to work through. You're going to have to press through. You're going to have to at times fight through situations and circumstances to get to these places. Let me tell you something. I want you to listen to me carefully. The way that you're going to get there is not by coasting. The way you're going to get there is not by sitting in the background, just doing enough to get by and not really be noticed or not really have anybody pay attention to what you're doing. Just kind of be in the background and coast through. That's not how you achieve greatness. That's not how you experience the phenomenal. That's not how you become exceptional and extraordinary. You do that by applying your purpose, your gifting, your skill set to the things that you were designed to do in such a magnitude and such an intensity that you pave a way for yourself in this world. You don't get that. You are going to have to develop a sickening work ethic, an absolutely unbelievably sickening work ethic where you are working when nobody's looking. Matter of fact, it's what you're doing when no one's looking that's going to determine the level of your success in this world. Not what people are observing, but what people aren't observing. When you could be sitting back chilling, but you're still grinding. When you're sitting back chilling, but you're still reading. When you sit back chilling, but you're still praying. When you could be sitting back and chilling, but you're still meditating. When you sit back and chilling, but you're still out serving others. Those are the moments that'll propel you into the next stratosphere of your life. But you're going to have to be willing to put in the work. You're going to have to wake up earlier than the people in your industry that you're going to need to surpass in order to plant your flag and your place in this world. You're going to have to wake up and be willing to work when everybody else is sleeping, work when people are playing, do the things that make you great. I'm not talking about have no life. I'm talking about know when it's time to work and show up. Don't think because the bell or the whistle goes off and everybody is saying it's 4 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, it's 6, whatever time it is, we're off. That's when you shut down when you're done. You shut down when you're done. Then you go into a mode of recovery and restoration, and you recover so that you can wake up and you can go hard in the pain again. I tell you all the time, I go to bed empty every night. so that I can be replenished, so that I can be restored, so that I can regrow. Why? Because I don't ever want to leave this place full. What do I mean? Full of potential, full of possibilities, full of things I should have done, but I didn't do because I was coasting. So I wake up every day and I go hard in the paint. Why? When I go to bed at night, I left it all on the field. I left it all out there. I don't have anything to sit up and be regretful about or shameful of. It doesn't mean everything goes my way. It doesn't mean that things always move at the speed of that I want to move, because I expect everything to move at the speed of light, and that does not happen. It rarely happens. Every now and then you get that quantum leap, but life is about sitting up and just being consistent, not giving in, not quitting, not turning around, and looking up and seeing the progress. Another thing you got to do is you got to learn to count the progress. Most people don't, because most people have an idea of what they want, and if they never get that, they feel like they failed. No, count the things you do. Every day I go to bed better than I was the day that morning when I woke up. If it means I read one chapter out of a book, normally more than that, but if it means I'm going to find some way to improve myself, I'm going to watch some video, I'm going to read some book, I'm going to go to counseling, I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk to my life strategist. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something that gets me beyond where I am now, because I can't go to bed the same person that woke up. I wasted a day when I do that. That's called a 0 day. I don't have 0 days. You've got to stop having 0 days. You got to wake up and say, this day belongs to my purpose. This day belongs to my passion. This day belongs to my future. I'm writing a narrative that's going to shape lives beyond anything I could ever imagine. And it starts today. When I get up, I am not going to miss opportunities. I am not going to turn around and let life beat me up and then send me home weeping and scratching and licking my wounds with nothing done. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get the bumps and the bruises anyway. I might as well grab something worth having while I'm getting bumped and bruised and pushed and tugged on. I'm going to grab the things that matter while I'm out here in the day. I'm going to build something greater, something stronger, something more impactful. I'm working on leaving a legacy. Those are the things that you've got to get in your mind. Those are the things you've got to get in your head. You've got to get to a point where you are pursuing something greater than yourself. There are going to be 3 basic questions that have to be answered to enter into the realm of greatness. What are you trying to achieve? Has to be a clear understanding. What are you trying to avoid? Has to be a clear understanding. What's the game plan? Then once you know what it is you're trying to achieve, what it is you're trying to avoid, and what's the game plan, now it's time to execute. Oh man, execute requires something. In order to change your current situation, what are you going to have to do? It's going to take a consistent application of a new discipline that introduces new habitual behaviors that are conducive with having the life that you desire. So what does that mean? That means that I have to look at what I want in life, what I want financially, what I want in business, what I want in my career, what I want in my marriage, what I want in my relationships, what kind of parent I want to be. Then I got to go out and I got to do the research and understand what it requires to be. What does it require to be financially free? How do people who are financially free think? How do they behave? What are the principles that they operate on? Okay, then I've got that. Then how do I do this? So now I know everything that I need to become in order to experience that life. Now I got to have a game plan of how I'm gonna get there. The game plan starts with executing the principal game plan that you design when you realize what it is you want to do. Now, the thing is, you're going to realize that your game plan wasn't perfect. Don't look for the perfect plan. Stop looking for the perfect opportunity. What do you need? You need to make sure that you are operating and moving and being flexible, because there is no perfect opportunity. There is no perfect plan. You're going to make some wrong choices, some wrong moves, some wrong decisions. You got to be able to be flexible. You got to be able to make moves and changes. That's why momentum is so important. Momentum will push you through those difficult times. A bunch of people, a bunch of you watching the video are going to go into 2022 standing flat-footed, going to 2022 standing still, because you think you're going to be able to get there and say, now that I'm in 2022, I'm going to do things different this year. But you enter in with the same mindset. How you start things have so much magnitude on how things go. That's why I'm constantly telling you, how you start your day is going to have a massive impact on how your day goes. Start your day with gratitude. Start your day with a high anticipation for positive things. Start your day with an understanding that there'll be challenges, but you're built for every battle that you'll face. You will win. You start your day with gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. You can't be grateful and simultaneously be worried, angry, fearful, envious, and all those other things that totally interrupt your ability to achieve and receive. You've got to understand there's a process in this. But just as you have to start your day right, you've got to start that year right. But most of you are going to go into 2022 standing flat-footed. You need to start. You should have already started, but you definitely need to start right now. Changing the trajectory, changing how you think, changing your mindset, changing your posture. One of my most effective tools is embodied cognition. That's where I tell someone to hold their head up. Do you realize that your body is literally trained to respond to how you are sitting, how you are presenting yourself? If you ever notice people who are sad, the heads are down, or they're drooped, the shoulders are drooped. You tell somebody to square their shoulders. When it says it's hard to feel less confident and sad. When you tell somebody to hold their head up high, that's another postural thing that the body responds to and perceives that something good just happened. We're in a good place. We can do this. We can overcome this. Oh, and then if you want to really set things off and really feel good, smile. You cannot hold a smile and not experience a level of happiness. You got to let the smile go. You can't sit there and be miserable with a smile. Why? Because your body has been trained that when you smile, it impacts your neurochemistry. It literally releases serotonin into your bloodstream, and it gives you a feeling of joy. It's not always your smile reacting to joy. Sometimes your smile can create the joy, can create the happiness, can create a night. You got to learn how to set the state of your day. You are going to have to go into 2020 on the right note. Finally, here's one that a lot of people balk on. Here's one that a lot of people balk on. If you're growing, you're going to find that you are in a constant state in which you are outside of your comfort zone. You cannot grow in your comfort zone. Adversity, opposition, resistance is the place and the environment of personal growth. If you are growing, you are going to be outside of your comfort zone. And I often say this to people and they laugh, but I say, you're going to have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And literally, I'm telling you, it's real. I could be sitting up and I could be moving through my day or moving through a week. And then I realize, hey man, I'm a little too comfortable. Now, I'm not sadistic. I'm not a masochist or nothing like that. I ain't trying to feel pain. I don't want to feel pain. But I know that if I'm not getting it, it's like going to the gym and doing a workout and there's no resistance. You know you're in the gym for nothing. You're not getting anything done. Why? Because it's the resistance that breaks down the muscle and allows them to build back stronger. It's the resistance that increases strength. It's the resistance that increases stride. It's the stress on your cardiovascular system that ignites your metabolism and starts to burn more calories than you've consumed and causes you to make sure you keep your weight in check. All of these things require you to push your body beyond the point of comfort. You don't win in comfort. You've got to get out of that comfort zone. You got to start understanding that if I'm going to grow, it's going to be uncomfortable out here. Then you get to the point where you start to embrace the discomfort, not because you like the discomfort, but you learn to understand that, man, this is what I'm getting. There are a bunch of experiments out there. You could be surprised what you could put a person through. You could put a person through when they know you finish putting them through it, that there's a reward on the other side that they really, really want. People go through it. People go to jobs every day, as a matter of fact, that they don't like, but they're going to get a check that they consider more than reasonable for what they go through. So they go through the bull crap at work every day. They don't realize that, hey, I can actually have this that I'm sitting up here going through this crap for. I can have it without it, but they're going through it. So the whole point is you got to train yourself to understand that there's something on the other side of discomfort. Will Smith said that God placed everything worth having on the other side of fear. Well, he placed it on the other side of pain, discomfort, delay, frustration, and a bunch of other things that you're going to have to wade through and maneuver through and navigate through to get to the thing you want. That's okay. You got to understand the work you put in will be rewarded. The work you put in will be rewarded. One of the most dangerous places you can be is comfortable. See, when you don't have the things that you want and you get uncomfortable, it makes you move. It makes you take action. It reminds me of one of the most often quoted but misunderstood passages in the Bible in Revelation, where Christ is judging the church of Laodicea, and he talks about being lukewarm. And people will, most of the time you won't be lukewarm. You don't want nothing too hot. You don't want nothing too cold. But see, that's just a problem. The idea that you think lukewarm is best tells me that you think lukewarm is comfortable. It's not too cold and it's not too hot. But here's the problem. See, the preference is to be cold or hot. Why? Why is the preference? See, if I'm cold, I know that the point is to be hot, because hot is where everything is happening at. But if I'm cold, I know I'm not hot. I know I'm not hot if I'm cold. So I'm automatically pushed to action. I'm automatically challenged to do something different. I know when I'm cold, it ain't the place to be. And once I get hot, now I'm driven to keep the heat up. Oh, but if I'm lukewarm, comfortable, I could just kind of sit back and chill. I could just sit back and chill. Now, if you look at that whole passage from a historical context, it had even more meaning to the church of Laodicea at the time, because see, what happens is when you have cold water in a spring, then it's meant for one thing, probably drinking, and then you have hot water that's meant for therapeutic purposes. And so when you have cold water, it has a purpose. When you have hot water, it has a purpose. But what happens with the lukewarm water? Well, the lukewarm water in the springs that ran around Laodicea, they understood that because it was so mineral rich, it had a hard, horrible taste to it. So when he say he would spew it out of his mouth, they understood it wasn't just because it was lukewarm, it was because it did not taste good. It was of a poor taste. It had no value. The same thing with your comfort. You live in a society that covets comfort and rewards mediocrity. But that's not where you have to be. That's not how you get to the point of doing something exceptional. I tell people all the time, life is bigger than the moment here in time in earth. It's more than 75, 80, 90 years. This is just a point in time in which something is expressed in a specific way. But you have a responsibility in this time to do something that blesses those who follow you and those who you leave behind. What is that? That's a legacy. What is a legacy? A legacy is this thing that you do at a level that's so exceptional that it changes the lives of people around you at a magnitude that when you leave this place, your name still has gravity. Your name still has impact because you were so impactful, not just to yourself. You didn't just serve yourself. You served everybody you came in contact with. Things were better because you were there. Things were better. You've got to get to that point where you understand that there's something out there better. You got to get to that point. Don't go into 2022. Do not go in 2022 standing still. Look, for those who are serious, I want to help you. For those who are not sure, just keep watching these videos and get as much as you can out. But for those who are sure, I want to help you. Click the link inside the description box. I would love to work with at least 7 or 8 of you guys moving into 2022 over the next 6 weeks. For those of you who are serious, only those of you who are serious, because my time is valuable. And I want to work with people that I can look at your life and I can see that I've made a difference, because that's what it's about to me. For those of you not sure, keep watching these videos. You're going to get something out of it. And these don't cost anything. So come check them out, share them with other people. But for those of you who want to hit 2022 with a purpose and a passion, and have an idea of where you're going and how you're going to get there and what it's going to look like and what it feels like, let's make that happen. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day, and I'll holler at you soon.